Joining me now is a young person that's doing extremely well for himself, Malibongwe Xaba. He's an inspirational speaker, an author, a youth motivator, and at the age of 28, he has traveled the world and he's got an amazing story to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Malibongwe Xaba from KZN, Durban, South Africa. How you doing, my brother?
I'm good, and you?
It's good to have you on the show.
Wow, I've been wishing to be here for long.
No, welcome to Kicking Doors. I mean, I think you deserve to be here. I mean, you've done some amazing things with yourself. And a lot of people like to know, why is that young man sitting with Sbu over there? Like, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
I'm just a young boy from Elindelane, a community where there's no hope, a community where there's no one who's a role model. So I'm just a role model in a township, in a place where there is no hope. And I'm saying to young people, look at me while I drive entrepreneurship to the next level. So
you grew up in a squatter camp type of a community.
Yes.
And obviously there's a lot of poverty in your area.
Yes.
And you have got a story to tell. You have traveled the world. You've spoken alongside the likes of your Kofi Annans of this world. You're traveling to Kenya right now to go give a leadership talk there. You've been to America, Europe, Asia. What is significant about your story?
I think it's being authentic to who I am. You know, a lot of people are hungry to hear your story. And a lot of people always package their story with what other people, what they heard from other people.
Yeah.
So I always package my story with the truth, and I package my story with who I am.
And what is that story in the periphery?
I grew up in Elindelane, a community where there's no hope, as I said earlier on, and I wrote my book on a BlackBerry. And a lot of people like to hear.
Wait a minute. So you wrote a book on a BlackBerry phone?
Yes.
Wow.
To be exact, it's a 9300 BlackBerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wrote my book on a BlackBerry, and a lot of people like to hear that story. How was that possible? That's a challenge, you know, when that roaming around watch start coming on. But I managed to overcome that. And I always say to young people, just because you grew up in a disadvantaged community doesn't mean that you're disadvantaged. So my story is always unique because I'm always true to who I am. A lot of people, I always say to people, never, and I will say this again, never should you want to be like someone else. Because when you want to be like someone else, you're actually losing who you are. So I'm continuing to being me. That is why I'm getting people saying, Malibongwe, come to Kenya. Malibongwe, come to the US, where I spoke at a school called Viewpoint High School, you know. Yeah.
Now, tonight's episode, we're obviously interested in different people that are in different industries. I turned my talent, for instance, into a business. I owned I started a record company, and I turned it into all sorts of other businesses that I've ventured into. How did you think about having to turn your story and speaking onto a business? Like, you've got a book, you're always invited to come speak at all these glamorous and amazing leadership conferences and entrepreneurship conferences and so forth.
It was difficult at first. You know, when you're an entrepreneur, you come with challenges at first. One of the challenges that I faced was that I didn't have a degree, and I was like, how am I gonna do this? I don't have any formal education besides grade 12. I was like, this is going to be difficult for me. But I said to myself, if I can write a book on my BlackBerry, then I will have something that people can refer me on. So the reason that I wrote a book wasn't because I was clever, because I was intelligent. It was because I wanted something that people could refer to. So I wrote a book. The book is titled All Things Are Possible. And I was like, here is an opportunity for me to set a trend for young people. So I've then did that. And then that is where I said, I saw a talent in me, that's a talent of writing. And then I started writing, doing blogs. And then Leadership 2020 saw my talent, saw my gift, and they gave me the opportunity. And I've never looked back.
You haven't looked back. I mean, you've tell us a little bit about some of your speaking career highlights.
One of my speaking career highlights was to speak at Viewpoint, where I was told that one of the kids in the crowd was Tom Cruise's kid, and it was like
so this guy spoke and inspired or motivated kids at a school in the United States, and amongst the kids was Tom Cruise's kid. Yeah. I mean, so you were motivating Tom Cruise's child.
It was amazing. I really didn't believe, but one of my real highlights was when I was sitting around people that have done well in South Africa. at an event where they were honoring all the South African people that have done well, and I was amongst those people. I remember I was in tears looking around. There was the president, the people that have done well. I was like, how did I get here? You know, tears just went down. And when people like you said on stage, this is Malibongwe Xaba, the one that they were talking about that wrote on a book on a blackberry, I was like, this is an opportunity for me to just carry on.
Lovely. You currently busy with your second book?
I'm done with
So
the
you
second
finished?
book. I've finished with the second book. The book is titled Born to Leave a Legacy. I believe each and every young person is born to leave a legacy. I believe that we as young people need to set trends. As you can see now, there's these companies that are popping up. All your companies like your Uber, your Facebook, they don't even own content, but yet they're content based. Uber it's a taxi company, but they don't even own one taxi. So we as young entrepreneurs need to come up with those innovative ideas that will make and set trend for South Africa, if not Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, Malibongwe Xaba, a young man who's taken his story to all over the world. He speaks everywhere. He's on his way to Kenya. You're in Kenya on the 9th of June, eh?
9th of June. Yeah.
9th of June. We're in Kenya.
We're going to be in Kenya, Nairobi, 9th of June, an event called the Future City of Africa.
Okay. So what are you going to be talking about?
I'm going to be talking about how Africa has been leading in the mobile industry. Because I wrote a book on my BlackBerry, so we as Africans have been doing a lot of things on our mobile phones. So we have been leading. Even the Western country hasn't done some of the things that we've done on our mobile phones.
It is Africa's time. Africa rising. Africa leads. Africa is not a jungle. Malibongwe Xaba, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you, man.